Hello, welcome back to Gowerton Parkway. You join me at my absolutely filthy weathering, detailing, sound fitting bench for a little project I'm going to have a look at. I thought I'd share it with you guys. So today I'm basically going to be looking at a Hornby TTS decoder. Now this is for a Class 67. This is the first TTS sound decoder that I've had. Haven't used these before. I've heard good things about them, so I thought I'd give one a try at the price point. They're pretty good, of good value by all accounts. All my other sound stuff is Legoman Biffo or Zimo with Porchetta files on it, so it'll be interesting to have a look. So my intentions for this video will be to initially go through this decoder, put this into the locomotive with this standard speaker, have a little look at it and see how it fares. Next thing I'll do afterwards is change the speaker. So I've got one of these Megabass speakers that I purchased from Roads Rails. So these are the details for Roads Rails. Now these speakers I fitted inside every single one of my locomotives so far. They've taken a bit of hacking around to get into some of them, but they're a brilliant speaker. My Class 37s have got 2 of these in the tanks. My Class 47's got 2 inside them, Class 56 has got 1 in, Class 60's got 1 in. So I really want to see, this is a bit of a combined video as a review of this speaker here, and also to see what you can do to soup up one of these decoders and see how good it sounds if you get it running through a nice speaker. So without further ado, I shall take the Class 67 apart and get this chip inside it. So you join me back in front of the locomotive. I've now taken the body off after what I can only describe as a little bit of a fight with it. I wasn't playing ball, so it's taken me about 20 minutes since the last clip you've seen to get that body off. I was all set for blaming Hornby and their shoddy decoder installation, but it's got a gauge master decoder in it, so there's only one person culpable for making a mess of that, so that's me. Anyway, so what I'll do, I'm going to take this decoder out. As you can see, this is an 8-pin decoder that I've got in there, just a standard gauge master one. Decent enough decoder. I'll just put that to one side, and what we'll do now, we'll have a look and see what we've got in here. Okay, so out of the box we've got decoder with a speaker, some information here which basically tells you how to not blow the decoder up. Fantastic. And the sound decoder manual, which will give me the basic information that I need for the decoder. So looking good so far. What I'll do now, I will unbox this. No, maybe I won't because I can't get into it. Be a bit more aggressive. Here we go. Okay, so we're into it now. I've got a couple of locating screws for the speaker, I assume. The chip itself. And there we go. The harness to plug the chip into the 8-pin decoder socket. So what I'm going to do, this locomotive, let me move this out of the way. This locomotive is designed by Hornby to put the speaker actually underneath it in the fuel tanks. I'm not going to be messing around doing that on the basis that I've got this speaker to fit in. This is a Megabass speaker, and I'm hoping that it's going to be significantly better than this one here that Hornby supply. So what I do now, I'm going to get this in, get the loco up on the layout, just have a little listen to it and see how it sounds as is with that speaker. So here I am back in front of Talbot Lane TMD. I've got the locomotive chassis on the track. I've got the speaker blue tack to the top just for now. Just have a quick listen and see what it sounds like. I've got no intention of reassembling the loco with the speaker set up with this configuration because I won't be using this speaker. But I just thought we'll give it a fire up so you can hear what this speaker's like. Okay, so first impressions are, sound seems okay. Obviously it's not quite as responsive as the Legoman Biffo files I've got, etc. But for the money, not too bad. Speaker, having listened to that, is absolutely pants, and it's exactly why I'm going to be getting rid of it. I'm hoping now when I switch the speakers over and we get a nice speaker inside the locomotive, it's going to really give a little bit of bass, a bit of thump and some burble that we wouldn't be getting out of the other little speaker that we've got here. So I'm looking forward to seeing what difference this could make. Yeah, so let's have a look. I reserve my judgment until I've got the proper speaker in. So far, impressions of this speaker, not very good. Really tinny, rubbish. Certainly not as good quality as the ones that you get as standard with a lock sound decoder. But hey, it's what, like a third of the price, so what do you expect? So what I'll do now, I'm going to go back to the bench and have a look and see where I'm going to cram this speaker in. So far I'm thinking perhaps here looks like a good candidate if we remove these bits of plastic radiator grill or whatever it is. Don't think it really adding much value to the overall appearance of the loco, but I'm going to have a mess around with it, see what I think's best, and I will be back with you at the bench, hopefully with the speaker installed. So here we are back at the workbench, and you can see I've now fitted the speaker to the locomotive. I thought I'd just give you a quick little rundown of what I've had to do to get this to fit in. I have removed this grille detail. These are plastic grills attached to a die-cast block, and they were originally located here. They just unscrew and you can pull them out. I've inserted the speaker into the gap that remains. Now what I've had to do here, because the boombox raised the height of the speaker just a little too high to allow the body to sit flush back on the chassis, I've dremeled the bottom of it off and stuck a new plasticard base on the bottom of there just to recreate the boombox but create it at a lower profile. And now it sits in there very nicely. I used white plasticard, so I painted that black so that when this goes back on you won't be able to see through the actual body there, a white strip. So that's there, that's all in place. It's just temporarily taped down with some masking tape just so I can put it on the layout now, give it a quick test, and you can do a comparison and you can hear the difference between the sounds. Okay, so here we are back in front of the layout. So I've got the loco's body shell back on now. And what I'll do, I will just quickly fire it up so you can hear it and compare the sound from the Megabass versus the stock speaker that came with the decoder. Now, just to let you know, I have actually increased the volume on the speaker to the maximum that you can do it. It's by changing CV 161 up to a maximum of 8. So it will be a little bit louder through that, but I'll turn the speaker on now and you can hear the difference. Okay, so that's the locomotive with a new speaker, and you can hear the TTS sound. So I would say overall, listening to that, the speaker obviously makes a massive difference. It's very good and it amplifies the sound a lot better than the stock speaker. My overall opinion of the Hornby TTS sound, yeah, it's okay. It's not as responsive as Legoman Biffo sound, but then again, as I mentioned before, it's not costing you anywhere near as much. So it is something that I think you could make use of. The Class 67 is not a loco that I really want to be spending £100 on a chip for. It's quite a sort of generic, boring sound that sounds a bit Class 6060. So I wasn't really fussed on spending a lot of money on it. So it does the job for that. Would I buy another TTS sound decoder? Probably not. No. I think I would stick with the normal ones going forward, the Legoman Biffos. Obviously they just take a little bit more to save up for to buy, but I do think the difference is worth it. However, on a budget, this is a good decoder. I think the things I've noticed about this is when you slow the locomotive down, it's not as responsive, and when you start it up, it's not as responsive, so you haven't got that build up of sound that you get on the other decoders. Overall though, it's not so bad. If you want a cheap budget decoder to stick in a locomotive, then I'd recommend them. Definitely with this though, I would upgrade the speaker to the Megabass speaker from Roads Rails. It's a great speaker. I use it across all my locomotives, bar the Class 66 that I've got. So yeah, get yourself one at 39 quid. It's not too much of an expense. Get yourself a speaker. I think the speakers are around about £7. Speakers normally come with next day delivery. So yeah, good service. Have a go. See what you think. Let me know if you've used any of the TTS sound and how you get on. That's everything from me for now. I hope you found the video useful. Cheers. Bye bye.